Good morning. Welcome to your courthouse and to the Warren County Commissioners meeting. I will call the meeting to order, and we will start with a pledge of allegiance, and if you would remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcement that this meeting will be recorded. Announcements, list of executive sessions held since the last meeting. We have had one executive session concerning legal issues. Correspondence, we have no correspondence. Public comment. Anybody that would like to speak, please feel free.
Hi, Ms. Lene Schubert. Last year we had a tornado that hit down in Taiwan. I live on 6 Mile Road. I do not have internet when tornadoes hit. We don't have that. I do not have regular TV. I stream. No way of getting a local station. With the internet being down, my Alexa products cannot get local radio stations. I cannot get a radio to work where I'm at either unless I'm in my vehicle. Tornado hit less than 300 yards from my house. Took trees down. From School Street up 6 Mile Road, the trees were pulled out of the ground on people's houses. Luckily, from School Street down to the highway, on both sides of the roads, none of the houses, including mine and my neighbor's house, was affected. The thing is, I had no idea that I was even sitting in my front room when the tornado was going through. I had no clue because I had no way of knowing. The question is, if it is able to be put on cell phones for Amber Alerts, why not for tornadoes? I'm sure I'm not the only one in the county that has this problem. I mean, this morning we had a storm, and that lightning was dancing left and right, and it's a scary thought because the wind starts howling and you think you're going through. Some people said that they heard a train. I didn't hear a thing, and I was sitting right by the window. All I seen was just rain coming down, a little bit of hail, not much, and then it disappeared. I looked out, and luckily my husband's truck was not damaged. I lost him 3 years ago. The only thing I got left of him. People say you can replace it. You can't replace a truck that someone else that you loved bought. Like I said, my house wasn't affected, just a lot of debris. There was trees sheared off, from here to Market Street away. So I feel that I did get lucky, but there was no warning. There is nothing for people who live on the outskirts that depend on the internet. If you don't have electric, you don't have the internet. You can't get any kind of help. What can be done about it?
But you do have cell phone.
I do have cell phone. And granted, it's not the best for calls, but when it comes time for alerts and stuff like that, I do get the Amber Alerts.
Okay.
So that is a possibility. readypa.gov/weather,
Okay.
PEMA, their website. They have a code red system, and it's how we at the Department of Public Safety receive our alerts. And those alerts are available to the public as well. So that alert's on a cell phone. There are also multiple different applications that you can go to your app store and download weather apps. But I would say, I'm familiar with the event you talked about. I don't know that there was actually a tornado warning put out for that event because what happened there, I don't believe was a tornado. It was a significant weather event.
If someone would have came down and actually looked at it, I mean, I've got video, and I mean, the trees are twisted, they're uprooted, houses demolished.
Sure.
That wasn't a tornado, it was damn close.
I don't doubt that there are multiple different weather events that can cause significant damage. But whether it be, you can choose severe thunderstorm, tornado watch versus warning. I'd be happy to help you set that up if you're not familiar with how to do it. But it's very simple.
But don't you have to have internet for that?
It's an app. It's on a cell phone.
But don't you have to have an app to connect to it?
You said your cell phone works.
Right.
Yeah.
But for
I
an
get it
app
on
like
my
that,
cell
you don't have to have internet to connect to it. Okay,
No.
okay.
It's just an app on your phone. If you have a smartphone, I guess
I
I'm
do.
making an assumption.
I
you have
do.
a smartphone. So that is an option. There are sirens throughout the county that are alerted when there is a tornado warning. However, those are maintained at the local level. So each municipality, it's their, if they want to add sirens, that is something they can do. There are multiple municipalities recently that have looked at adding to their complement of sirens, but your municipality is not one that's come forward saying that they want it.
And there needs to be something, because like I said, there is older people that live on my road. I mean, they are, I wouldn't say quite elderly, but they're getting up there, and they had no clue either. I mean, we did not know this until after the fact, and I seen people walking in my backyard, and they're looking all over, and there's like trees sheared off. I mean, next morning I got up to look because it was getting kind of dark, so I couldn't really look at my damage. But luckily there was nothing wrong. But I mean, it can, and there's nothing for anybody out anywhere to get this.
Fortunately, we have the solutions that Ken was mentioning. It's probably the best option at this point.
Because that's how he gets notified. So you can get notified exactly the same as our emergency management services do.
And Mr. McCoy, would you, and Mr. Cotton, can you do something in the paper? Just-
Maybe print the app site, or
So coming up very shortly, April the 10th, this has not been put out to the public yet, but we set this date the other day. So Severe Weather Week coming up, we'll be doing the severe weather exercise in conjunction with the school districts and the hospital and whatnot. And that is the type of information that would be pushed out at that time, potentially through our social media and through the newspaper, that we'll be doing our severe weather exercise. We'll be activating the tornado sirens and things of that nature. So
That's April 10th, you said?
April 10th.
Okay.
Typically, we do them at 10 a.m., so it's during the school day and doesn't interfere with their lunches and stuff in the school.
but I'm sure Lene is not the only person to have that kind of a problem.
And it's scary. I mean, being by myself now, I don't have anybody to depend on.
Right.
And if I would have known that there was even a slight chance, my dogs and me would have been in the basement with everything that I needed personally, whether it was like keys and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we would have been huddled in the basement. But I sat in the middle of the living room just watching and listening, but there was nothing. There was no forewarning.
And
And
does
for-
it take very long that after the meeting you could get with Lene and help her get that down on her phone?
Sure.
Well, if you just give me the site, if you write it down, I can do that.
Sure.
Because I'm going to have to take a few things off, so that way I have enough memory, or
Okay.
enough. I appreciate it, thank you.
Very good.
Great, thanks.
Any further public comment? Consent agenda. Minutes of the February 14th, 2024 public meeting. Financial report.
Yeah, Lisa's not here to represent, but the financial report is in your packet.
Proclamations.
There's one for Red Cross.
Did you, Pam, did you get a email concerning the sunshine?
Yes, I did. She was in yesterday, and even though it'll be almost over, it will be on the next week's agenda.
The Red Cross? Yeah.
Proclaiming March as Red Cross Month, not Red Cross Month.
Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Unfinished business.
Doesn't look like there's anything under there,
Okay.
right, Pam?
No, we have nothing
Very
under
good.
there.
New business, appointment to the Land Bank Authority.
This is a position from the school district. Mr. James Grosh will represent the district on the Land Bank Authority. I believe we have a vacancy that needs to be filled with this.
Yes, we do.
And so this would be effective, it's like almost a 2-year appointment through December 31st of 2025.
This appointment was also something that was negotiated and discussed with the school district to elicit their cooperation with the learner program.
Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Grush to the Land Bank Authority?
I'll move to approve.
I have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion, a second, discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next order, Grand Valley Volunteer Fire Department Tower Purchase Agreement.
Please, Ken may have some information on that.
Sure, so that tower in Grand Valley was one that was put in under our old radio system to fill in a gap in the old radio system. Now that we've transitioned to the new radio system, we no longer have coverage gaps in that area. So that tower has been sitting unused for the better part of 2 years. And because of its location within the bowl of Grand Valley Fire Department was the only entity that it would add value to. It sits on property that they own. So Grand Valley Fire Department offered to buy the tower from the county. The tower, the fencing, and the structure that's on that location
And that's for $1, is that
for
what it
$1.
is? And we don't utilize that, nor could we.
Correct, that's not part of our,
Motion to approve the Grand Valley Volunteer Fire Department Tower Purchase Agreement.
I'll be happy to make that motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
A second.
A motion, a second, discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 3263, authorizing application to PHMC for grant funding.
Yeah, this is standard practice with a lot of the grant programs that are out there. What this does by approving the resolution authorizes the SLOCUM to formally submit the application to the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission for work to, I believe it's to the ceiling of this room here.
Yep.
Funding for that. Do you have anything you want to?
Just that this is, will be, yeah, looking over there
Oh, over there. The crack there.
from the water damage. So this application will be submitted Friday. And we'll know about the award in, I believe it's in July. And then bids will go out in August and come back in September. And we'll get a contractor at that time. The total cost of the project is $127,420, and we'll split that with the PHMC, with the county paying $63,710, and that is out of the ARPA funds that have been designated for capital projects.
Okay. So again, this is required as part of the submittal of the application.
Correct.
PHMC. I would move for approval.
Have a motion to approve resolution 3263. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Have a motion, a second, discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Agreement for modification with the U.S. Forest Service. What is approximately modification? Is that for patrol?
Yes.
Okay, that's, patrol, contract patrols with the sheriff's office, providing services to the Forest Service. It's an ongoing event.
Is that the microphone?
Speaker, I don't know exactly the speaker.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know, I have no idea
No,
what's going on.
I don't think so, but it was making a funny noise earlier.
And I closed my laptop at that point and it stopped. I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's feedback going on or
Well
what.
done.
And is this a 3 or 5 year contract?
This is an, I think
It's
this is an,
annual.
this is an annual agreement that we pass that where, I believe the sheriff's department makes deputies available to do patrolling on Forest Service land. I just noticed on the document, there's a few changes. I think the rate, the hourly rate has increased. The primary contact's been changed from the former sheriff to the new sheriff. Those are the main ones. Otherwise, it's a routine approval.
There's a formula that they use for wages, social security, insurance, vehicle, fuel, etc.
I think there was one other item where there may be a balance that's being carried over, just an accounting.
The total available for 2024 is $7,094.32.
Do I have a motion to approve the agreement modification with the Forest Service?
I'll make a motion to do
I have
that.
a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agreement renewal with our employee assistance program.
This is something we do annually, isn't it?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Applies to both human services as well as to the courthouse employees?
Yes, for a total for the year of $5,634.30. This gives our employees some services that they can use for counseling. It can give them financial counseling, pet counseling. It's a lot of services that they do provide, and it is being used. I've included the report that we got to show that it is being utilized.
Self-help.
Speaking for legal and fiscal, this is a nice resource to have, when it's necessary.
Yeah, looking over the numbers here, they've been taken advantage of several times during the course of the last year. I would move for approval.
I have a motion to approve the agreement with the employee assistance program. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agreement with Capital Area Communications Public Safety Radio Needs Assessment. This is part of a grant. Money's coming from a grant. I guess
The funds will
it's
be,
wide ranging.
yeah, the money will be coming from an STMP grant to cover the cost of this. And this is going to cover the portion of the original radio agreement that was cut out. It's going to cover a master plan going forward of what we need to upgrade our paging system and fill in coverage gaps with our,
And the approved grant amount, I believe, is $40,000.
correct.
Do I have a motion to approve the agreement with Capital Area Communications?
I'll make that motion.
All motion,
Second?
second, all discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Tyler Technologies, moving the financial suite to the cloud.
And this is an ongoing annual cost, and it has been budgeted for, as we talked about in the work session. I think $20,000 was budgeted, and this comes to 18,689. I'll be happy to make a motion to approve that. Also,
Motion, do I have-
frees up got some server space for us, so.
Very good. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner comments?
Not here.
None
We have some, probably so the CCAP meeting is next week, so will be some takeaways when we go to that as it relates to things that are going on in the Commonwealth, as well as things that we may want to communicate to our county.
I'm sure there will be several.
Yeah.
Dan, you have
I have
anything?
no
I have
comments.
nothing. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion to
There you
adjourn? Second.
Second.
Second, discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's it. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, everyone.